this down.
And just so I can see you and you're comfortable. And love, love, love. Everything is love.
Mm-hmm. Can you
So
see me enough that you
I
feel
can
safe?
see, I can see you. And if you need to come up for any reason, you can bring yourself up by counting 1 to 5 and inhaling deeply, and you'll be completely awake. But right now, we're just going to do a chakra meditation. And I'm going to pray to the angels and the archangels and the guides and ask them to illumine both of our minds and make our minds work together as one as we enter the sacred space of the Magdalene energy, of the Mother Mary energy. They are safely surrounding the session. I call in the presence of Archangel Michael and all the archangels that are connected to Jodi Powers on this blessed day of June the 18th. And this is a past life session for Jodi to further investigate the possibilities of being in the energy of the female disciples and finding her identity there and her questions about our relationship and the relationship of any of the other disciples and how it really played out. Particularly, she's interested in Mary's empowerment teachings for this time in which we live, which is very challenging, but also very fun in its own way. So we thank Master Jesus, and we thank Master Mary Magdalene and Master Mother Mary and all the saints and angels that are guiding us to the higher awareness that they want to give us so we can be teachers and share that teaching with the world. And any information that needs to be revealed about the mysteries will come forth in the session as well. So have you anything else to add to your goals at this point?
Trust.
You're just chilling. Okay, so just leave everything go and just take a deep breath in and look up at the ceiling, stretch yourself a little bit, and take another deep breath and close your eyes and get comfortable as you relax and lay down and de-stress from your day, which was very busy, and go into that sacred spot of the Most High. And first, we're going to work with your crown chakra, and I'm going to send a little Reiki healing over this if I have permission to do that. And just to enhance the angelic vibes, I'm sending some healing to your crown and to my crown, which is going to calm us and calm the nervous system. And the crown is flowing, flowing, flowing now with light and love. And the Marys are holding, they're telling me they're holding kind of like a skull cap for you. And so that's very cute, how a mother holds her infant's head. So I see them on each side of your head, and they're asking you just deeply relax and trust Marcia, for you have met before, shall we say. And with that, allow the white light of the healing come into your full crown and assume that that crown is lighting up with light, and you're wearing your goddess crown as a teacher and healer, and it's flowing into your third eye, the purple, and there's this white golden light around you, and then your third eye, and this is the inner awakening and the inner vision, which we call forth in this session. And just take another deep breath. And we're not doing any Kundalini activating today, but we're just relaxing more and more with each breath and each invocation to the chakras. I'm seeing you more and more relaxed, more and more pure and perfect, and free of any karmic debris from the day, and from all your accumulated past lives. So we can focus on this one or two very important lives that are related to the Magdalene lineage or the Mary lineage. And so as we open the third eye chakra, we let the purple light activate, and just take another deep breath and let that feeling go in all the way around you, as if you're being anointed with some holy rose water oil, and you're just allowing the images and the words to come to you in this session. And take another deep breath and let the Holy Spirit caress your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose and your nasal passages, and everything is just deeply relaxed, and Spirit is activating your nasal and your eyes, your inner eyes, your nose and your mouth. And remember to speak up and speak clearly throughout the session so that you can have a better session. And then when you review it, you can add notes to it and journal a little bit after your journeys into time. So imagine now that the white light is flowing into your ears. Each ear is just hearing beautiful, pleasant words. And you're entering in this sacred space where you can hear nothing evil or harmful, even if you experience something that we would call an evil act or something in this past life that you're going to enter into. You're not going to experience the trauma. You're welcome to experience the trauma. But if you want to, you can look at the trauma from the higher soul perspective, or you can raise your hand if you wish to come up out of it, or if you wish to see it, that is fine. It's the soul's choice. Whatever experiences you have in this session, it will be completely safe because you're in this life now, but you're going to be going to another life where you lived as an ancient soul that was very, very wise and very, very beautiful. So you're going to find out more about your divine feminine ancestry and who you were in other lifetimes. So anyway, you hear pleasant sounds. Maybe right now you're hearing the angels play the harps for you. There's something special about you, I have to say. As I tune in, I said the angels play harps. I got a huge download in my heart of angelic energy. And I'm sending that on to you, to your heart. I don't know if you can feel that, but just relax into this, because we're entering the sacred space. So feel the white light of the crown chakra now going down the back of your skull and allowing the medulla oblongata pineal gland to be activated. So the wisdom codes are brought in, and let that white light flow down the nape of your neck, gently caressing your neck and healing you from the day's tensions and stresses and any conflicts. And let those white light land on your little angel trapezius muscles there on each wing that you have. So I'm seeing your spirit form you're partially angelic. So just let that angelic energy flow and the white light flow down into your shoulders. And you have Mother Mary on one shoulder and Mary Magdalene on another shoulder, and they're gently holding you throughout the session. They will be holding you. And then imagine that beautiful white light of Reiki energy is flowing into your elbows and down the lower arm extremity and into your hands and into your fingertips, and just feeling into that beautiful, beautiful energy of spirit and cleansing. And then imagine, just take another deep breath and hold for a moment and hold it in your throat. Let's come to the throat chakra. This is where the thought becomes word, and the word was God, goddess. So your word has to be pure and good and meaningful. So as you focus on the throat chakra and visualize that beautiful blue color and let him being empowered with love vibration, words that are spoken in love. And let's come to the thymus now, just right near the throat, and that's another chakra. And that is just the healthiest immune system possible, where the T cells are made. And then further on down, take another deep breath and let go and just float. As imagine you're floating on a cloud today. Life is easy and there is no struggle. Let's pretend that for just a few hours anyway. Let's be in that blissful energy because it's worthwhile. When you're in the presence of the masters, they make it so. So just inhale again. And then the heart energy is where I was sensing this heavy download of heavy energy that's very loving, but very heavy. I'm not sure if you're feeling that the way I am, but just let me know. Okay, good. And it feels like a presence of God and Goddess together. It just feels so, I don't know, I don't even have a word for it, but it's beautiful. And so you're enveloped in this heavy and beautiful energy of the heart. That heart extends love in all directions. For these lifetimes were very, very priceless, important lifetimes. And we're going to find out more in just a few minutes. And just let go and let your heart feel free and loved as you are by the masters, by myself, by your family and your friends, those who love and cherish you. Just get into that vibe. Take a deep breath and let all cares and concerns go. And that green heart vibe energy is filling you with oxygen in your lungs and calming your heart. You'll find that your heart is becoming more still and you can trust. Allow yourself to trust the information that comes forth, whatever it be, and allow yourself to feel the oxygen filling the lungs, and filling the heart with joy and infinite gratitude of love. And then down further to the solar plexus, where that is the seat of the self-esteem and the beautiful vibrations of the sun. And imagine you're on a sandy beach and the sun is shining and you can feel that warming sun sensation even through your bathing suit and you're just relaxing. It's a warm day, but not as hot as today. It's beautiful, breezy, and we'll be visiting this beach in a few minutes. And then just going further down into the sacral chakra, the womb chakra, the sacred place of the divine feminine. And just release any trauma, anything that was there that shouldn't have been there. Painful periods, painful childbirth, anything that doesn't belong to you anymore. Just let that white light soothe and heal. And then imagine it flowing down into the root of the family values, the root of also of elimination and releasing of things that are no longer serving you. Perhaps old friendships, old relationships. And then imagine the white light flowing into your hips and down, 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 relaxing your thighs, relaxing your knees, relaxing your calves, and they are feeling so peaceful and so relaxed, and you're so almost asleep, but you're not there yet. And then going down into your ankles and into your metatarsals and into your toes, just deeply relaxed. Imagine that you're on the sandy beach and you're building a sand pile and you put your feet on into it and the sand is slightly damp, and on the top it's very wet and hot and sandy. So you're having some fun with it, and that heavy weight of the sand is pulling you deeper and deeper as you go. So now I'd like to imagine that you are on the top of a staircase, and this is a very winding, fancy staircase, or you can make it whatever you want it to be. I was thinking of maybe a wooden staircase that's winding and old-fashioned, but you can create it whatever way you want. Maybe plush carpeting, maybe a temple, maybe it's some sort of ancient temple with marble steps. But you find it easy to look at and comfortable to navigate it, however, you are doing. So whatever it is, do you have your staircase in mind now? Okay, very good. And now I want to remind you that you're going to be entering a past life. And this past life is a life or lifetimes that you've lived before. And I'd like you to think about your goals that you set at the beginning. And I'd like you to think about anyone that you may have known in this lifetime as well, or lifetimes. And so you probably have some thoughts that came to mind on that. And then just remember that if you need to come up, you can either raise your right hand and I'll wake you up, or if you need to come up and something happened to me, then you can just, on the count of 5, come up the staircase and wake yourself up and be perfectly in a state of alertness and readiness if it were emergency were to arise. But I don't get that feeling that that would happen, but it's always a good precaution. Remember, Archangel Michael is also holding the light for this session, and then you're going into your Akashic records, which are very, very sacred. And so the whole experience is going to be amazing and revealing. And if you get stuck, I will patiently wait for you to find where you are. Some people do. I don't think you're going to, because I've seen you in session before. But anyway, just going on with that, then I'd like you to start at the top of the 10-foot staircase and 10 steps down, and just take your first deep breath and first step down. And with each step down, you're going deeper and deeper into hypnosis, deeper than you've ever been before, so that you will find what you're looking for. Whatever the soul desires to know in this regression, it will be made evident, at least in the beginning of, we may be in a number of sessions together, but this will be, you will be at least provided clues if you don't get everything that you need. But we're going to say that you're going to get everything you need, but I know there's always more. So anyway, just take another step down to 9, and then 8 and 7 and 6, and deep breath, and still the heart, and trust and faith that you're stepping down to 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. And then before you lies the beach. It's a beautiful ocean, sandy beach, and it's a clear blue sky with a few clouds in the sky and a few birds chirping and flying around, and the breeze is perfect. It's just you and the beach. And of course, you have your beach bag and you have your suit, and you can, there'll be time later if you want to visit, but right now we're going to, this is the beach of time, the never-ending beach of time. And you've been here before in other lifetimes, and this is a gateway to the other lifetimes. Before you stretches this beautiful beach, white sandy beach, and the waves are crashing in. And you walk halfway up the beach to where the wet sand meets the dry sand, and you stand there and feel that beautiful surf coming on in. And it's just a perfect day, and you're feeling so refreshed. And just let that roaring sand and waves just caress your feet and your ankles, but you're not going in today. You're just refreshing yourself here. take a nice deep breath, and then you'll notice up the way to the right that there is a door. It's kind of an old wooden medieval looking door, and it reads Door of Time. And we're going to be walking up the beach to the Door of Time and going in a while, where you will be, regressing to your past lives and so on. So you are now walking up the beach and you're seeing the Door of Time, the old door. Now you're completely protected. Did you say something?
I was saying, that I'm here.
Okay, and you're there. And during the trips into your past, I just want to remind you to remember to speak and describe what you can, and I'll be very patient with you. And now say to yourself, mentally say to yourself, I'm ready to enter the Door of Time and enter the past. And now go ahead and step through that door, grab a hold of it, and you can stop walking now. You're completely surrounded by full damp fog, and at the moment you can hear the sounds of the beach, but you're not really there. You're just in kind of a time tunnel, and you're traveling faster and faster through this time tunnel, and you can't see anything except silver fog. And in a moment, when I count to 3, you will start moving backwards into this time tunnel and feel the fog moving past you rapidly, indicating your movement in time. 1, 2, and 3. So in the tunnel, you're going further and further back, and you may see some familiar relatives in this time tunnel, or may not, but everything is going further and further back to an ancient time, a time where you lived before in a very important lifetime. You can see shadowy images of people and events in the fog flying past you as you regress further and further backward. This could be the lifetime we were speaking of, or it could be another lifetime. Whatever the soul wants to reveal to you is perfectly fine. And now I'm going to count to 3, and you're just going to ground your feet into this lifetime where you stopped. And I'll wait for you to catch up with me and for you to sense. So on the count of 3, still in the silver fog bank, 1, 2, and 3. And take a deep breath and use your inner eyesight to look around and tell me where you are or what your feet look like and where you think you might be. And just take your time. Look down at your feet, and what are you wearing?
They're very old feet. I'm old, and I'm wearing a brown cloak and a staff.
You have old feet, and what was that you were saying, dear? About a staff?
Old feet, a staff,
Cool.
a brown hood. I want to say Padre Pio, but I don't know if he had a beard, and it looks older than that though, but it's like a blend of like an older.
So do you think you're a man or a woman in this lifetime?
Definitely a man.
Definitely man. Well, interesting, very interesting. So do you see that you have like a Franciscan type habit on, or?
Yes, but not the hair. Actually,
Yeah.
I can't see the hair. It's under the hood.
Yeah, well, you could probably feel up there and tell me if you had a bald spot in the middle like they used to do or not, but the hair isn't important. We've established that you're probably a Franciscan monk or some sort of monk, and you're probably somewhere in Europe. So just look around at your surroundings and look at your habit And just tell me what you're feeling and seeing and experiencing.
There's like white on the inside of my, it's like this
Oh,
hood,
inside the habit.
inside of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And a tall staff. I feel like it's really old, but they're giving me that this is one of Padre Pio's like earlier incarnations. That's why I'm getting him.
Wow. So the staff was some other incarnation and the white inside the robe.
Yeah, because I see that the robe is like there it's almost like hidden and protective and like comes like a almost like a diamond. You know how the robes don't come right down, they kind of poof out a little bit
Oh,
and then come down.
I know the shape.
Oh, okay.
I get the shape.
Okay.
I'm remembering seeing that kind of illustration or something, or seeing it in movies or something. Yeah. So
And big.
yeah. So it's bigger than your head for sure. It's just not a
Yes.
natural Franciscan habit. It's is it still Franciscan, do you think?
It's important. It's a robe of honor.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. So what are you,
It's a well-worn robe.
yes. And this person is aging, and do you have bare feet, or are you said you're carrying a staff, which would be a sign of wisdom and age. And
A tall staff with a hook.
oh yeah, like a shepherd's staff kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
very interesting. And look around and observe your surroundings and tell me what else is going on this day. And what are you doing in this day? And what country, if you can identify a country, or, just whatever comes is fine.
One hand is on my staff. The other one I'm teaching.
Hmm.
I don't see any people yet, but I see my hands that I'm expressing and
Mhm.
teaching and gifting, and I'm seeing like mountains in the distance.
Sounds really beautiful. So, yeah. So you were a teacher, and
It's like
did you,
twilight,
did you have a healing gift in that life too?
of course.
Mhm. And were you healing all different sorts of people, or just the friars in the order, or do you know how that unfolded? And if you could go to a day when you were doing some significant healing or teaching, a happy day.
It feels very much like I was in the mountains
Hmm.
away from others, and that these students would be sent to me,
Hmm.
and there were not many.
I see. So
Not,
we're,
but they were the shepherds to go out with the flock. They worked directly with the flock.
mm,
Does that make sense?
yes, it does. So
Okay.
I'm curious about these teachings. Were these a little more aligned with the mystical teachings of healing and receiving gifts of the Holy Spirit, this kind of thing? Was that more mystical, or was it
I'm getting energetic wisdom
okay?
of planets,
Yeah.
stars.
Oh, very interesting. Wow.
This
That
is old. Like, this is old.
and
Although the weird thing is, my feet, my shoes look like leather, like they don't have a name brand on them, obviously, but like very similar to what we kind of wear today, where they're leather straps.
yeah. Well, I mean, the star knowledges and things like that, um, they were kind of forbidden in the Middle Ages because, you know, the Vatican didn't really allow people to teach that. So is that why this was sort of only for the select few, if I may ask?
Trusted,
Trust,
trusted.
yeah.
But I was definitely in the mountains somehow.
That sounds beautiful. Do you think it was the Italian Alps or was it someplace in France, or can you identify a little location? It sounds breathtaking, whatever it was.
There's a lot of sand around. So this is what is kind of confusing me, is that I'm not seeing trees,
Oh, wow.
but
Mhm.
I was on an elevated space.
Oh, so you might have been living in a very high altitude monastery, but there was sand around and
Maybe.
mountains.
Yeah, the pyramids are close by.
Oh,
It's
so
sacred
you're
land.
probably like in Egypt then, maybe a Coptic father or something, huh?
I don't know anything about Egypt, even if they have mountains there. I'm not sure, but I can see in the distance mountains, but they're like I look kind of like a hermit. Like they're giving me the image of a tarot card with the hermit, and there are mountains in the
Yeah.
background, and
Okay.
I've got the lantern, and to tell you in that way.
The tarot card for the hermit. So, you want to place this maybe in Egypt, but there anywhere in the Middle East, there could be a monastery that was high up in the mountains that had
I
sand.
just heard Africa.
Africa, that's what I was thinking. It might have been just Africa, like Tunisia or some other place that had some mountains, but it maybe not Egypt. But there's a whole legacy of different shrines and traditions and monasteries all over that had embraced secret type of teachings too. So
They're saying to look up the original who is the hermit on the tarot card
that's very cool.
originally.
Oh, okay. That sounds really hot number here. Good clue. See, I knew there were going to come some clues today. I had a feeling. So I wouldn't know that. I'm not a tarot expert, but I
I
like,
am.
oh, very good. Oh, so we'll look into that. So anyway, you were doing some teaching and these were kind of secret teachings and you were kind of a hermit, a monk living, um, were you living among the brothers or were you kind of allowed to be more isolated and just
I'm
teaching or
hearing secluded.
secluded? I was getting secluded too. And were you maybe regarded as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church or some other
I'm hearing sage,
sage?
not
Okay,
saint,
sage.
just sage.
But still, sage, saint, very close in the holy nature. So have you any devotions to any other particular, um, traditions? Mother Mary, Jesus, Mary Magdalene. Do you have a,
This is before them.
oh, this is before them. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's very unique. So you are practicing a particular type of mastery in a monastery prior to the coming of Joshua and Mary Magdalene. So
Yes.
that's just really interesting. So were you doing something with the stars, reading the stars to do any predictions of Messiah, or was there an awareness, or were you another various religion? Were you another religion other than the Jewish faith? You know, doesn't matter what religion you were. It's just very interesting the work you're doing. Are you getting a name for it or no?
Yeah, I'm getting that there were preparations for that whole epoch.
Yeah, for sure.
We
As
knew that there were preparations needing to be made for years to come, and we were not quite interested in predictions for the prediction's sake, but for preparation. And the um, initiates that would come to me, initiates, adepts,
right,
students,
exactly.
they were willing. They were willing to devote themselves to the work that was needed in this lifetime to be carried on to future lifetimes.
Wonderful. What a privilege and an honor to work with the younger people too, and to pass on your secrets of wisdom concerning both prophecy and building a foundation, I'm hearing, sort of a foundation for the coming Messiah. Is that,
These were sacred contracts that they almost knew before they came in that they would be fulfilling.
yeah, well, so it's in Africa. Do you have, you want to venture a guess as to where this place might be today? Um, it could be any country that comes to mind is probably correct, or an area.
Let me see the map.
Yeah,
I'm getting very, very north.
yes.
I don't know my geography very well, but I can see the outlines, and there's like, so it would be around like 10, 11, 12 if you're if you made Africa a clock, 10, 11,
That's
12.
exactly where I was placing you, like around Tunisia or that
Is that
coast right there. Yeah.
okay?
They used to,
Okay.
in ancient times, it would be near the Gibraltar thing, but they used to have the pillars of Hercules there, and they disappeared with time. But that was the famous entryway from the Atlantic into the Mediterranean. So that's kind of where I'm placing you, around that that part of Africa. Is that what you're describing? I think you are.
And it's like a slice of a pie, like 10 to 11
Right. I got
there.
that.
They're saying
That's
inland, if
exactly where
there's
I was
mountains
thinking.
there, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there are
So
mountains
yeah,
inland.
I
I'm
think
not
there
sure.
are. I think there are,
And then the
because
pyramids over.
and then the pyramids are over, like in
Yeah,
the very far distance or something.
that's probably what I was seeing, like
Yeah.
way in the,
Way, way in
and
the
I could see the sunrise there. Like the goal somehow, like we're a team, like I'd see the sunrise, and that was like we would
They
communicate
used to
over that.
have a gold pyramid, it was all gold in that ancient time. So that would be visible probably from a large distance. And if you were in the mountains and the desert at the same time, yeah, it sounds really beautiful and inspirational. But I bet life was a bit sparse in terms of food and drink and creature comforts up there in the monastery.
They brought me things. I was well cared for.
Oh, good. So did you have younger students all your life, or did you select these students, or how did they
These
come?
students came to me. It was like I'm at
Okay.
the top. They're saying I was at the top of the pyramid. So like the people below me would pick the people below, the people below, and they had to work up to be sent here. These were the cream of the crop, they're saying.
Okay.
And I believe my name begins with a J,
A J.
but
Okay.
it's not pronounced J. It's like a Y.
Okay. Yeah. So it would be some ancient language at present we're not aware of, but we could figure it out in time. So anyway, it's like, did you work with scrolls, or did you work with verbal and auditory memory, more or less? How were
I
you?
worked out of body to communicate and get the knowledge. Like I would go and seek the knowledge, and then when I got the knowledge, I would share it.
Okay. So you were doing shamanistic rituals then. Did you do ritual along with this to obtain it, or did you just automatically connect out of body with the guides and masters and just bring forth the information? Like what kind of
I
did you?
definitely did the work needed and the study needed, and I'm hearing the disciplines needed,
Yeah.
which is what got me to that place where I was able to, like, they're showing me this magic carpet and like me sitting cross-legged like Aladdin or something, and that I could travel to
Uh-huh.
places and get information. But
Wow.
it wasn't like a magic carpet. They're like, all right, you ended up with this skill, like you had a magic carpet and you could go places and do things, trajectories, they're saying, but
Right.
you needed to have the discipline and the work and the will. They're saying the will to even get on the carpet. So it was both. Anything that I learned, I shared. Anything that I went out, I shared. But this information was kept like the sacred information that it was,
Hmm. So
revered.
it wasn't written, or was there anything written down? I'm just always curious because I've always been a scribe in most of my lifetimes. It doesn't matter, but it sounds like it was in the etheric akashic more so.
I was fluent in, oh, the word just left me. I was fluent in accessing the necessary information and just grabbing it
Hmm.
without lingering. Like it was like a direct route. Like I knew my way around how to do that. And then I would pass it on and they would scribe.
Okay,
I
so that
scribed for many years,
great. So that
but
was part of the
now in what
training.
they're showing, this is me telling others.
Yeah. So that was part of their knowledge too, is learning from you and learning to write in order to record your visions and your travels and your teaching.
But they couldn't rely on writing. They needed to practice memorization,
That's right.
storytelling,
Yeah.
bardism, if that's a
Bard,
word.
exactly. Bard is the word. Yes, exactly.
Bardism.
So that's very African. That's very interesting.
It is.
So were you able to, by connecting to divine source, perform any miraculous feats, or just by doing this type of teaching, it sounds like it was very miraculous type of work that you were involved in. And it sounds like you were a very disciplined and good soul. And you got a name that began with a J, but I was just wondering, about miracle partners.
Joaquim.
Joaquim?
And
Joaquim.
I know that that's tarot, like they're Joachim, like
Uh-huh.
something about a pillar. Maybe
Oh,
that's another clue because that's another tarot card. But
okay. Okay. Beautiful. So your name is probably Joaquim, or you're working with that inner knowledge
mhm,
relating to the tarot, one of the two. And what kind of shamanism did you guys practice? And was it all guys, or were there any women involved in the ministry at all, or not at
no,
that time?
men, monks,
Yeah, I was thinking that it was pretty
all
patriarchal
monks,
time. Yeah. And
all kneeling. I'm
was
on the
there
mountain
healing
at the
going
top,
on?
and
Were you a healer as well as a wisdom keeper, or was it just
I
primarily?
don't think that I'm getting the impression that the actual healing part comes with just being. And like my hand, if I put my hand out, it would be like a wave.
So,
And when I'm telling the stories and I'm uh Yeah.
Hmm. If you
The
heard the
infinity
language,
symbol
oh, the infinity of 8. Yeah, that's beautiful.
that I
So
would wave,
did
and
you
that we
also,
were existentialism,
okay.
that we are here on this earth, that we knew we were here on this earth,
Mhm.
and that we came on a mission. That, you know, there was a veil of forgetting, but here it was like we were so close to it. Like it's like we're just tapping on the veil, like, okay, I need something, you know, whereas now it's like the veil is so thick for so many people, we forget everything. The veil was thinner for this population, that we had access to all kinds of things, and we knew that this was just a piece of us.
Yeah. So, do you have any of your memories in this ancient lifetime as a shaman, a teacher, a scribe, a master teacher, a teacher of star knowledge? Do you have any knowledge of what happened in Atlantean times? Do you know that you're descendants of Atlantis, or
We
is that
lost the battle.
okay? So you did come from Atlantis, your relatives possibly, or you, or something like that. You lost the battle. The
We
battle of,
lost the battle there, and I think what I carry in this lifetime that I had there was this, they're giving me the word, it turned into disdain for people, when it was at first disappointment in people, that they couldn't see, that they couldn't connect, and that eventually they just weren't interested in it at all.
Mhm.
And there was really nothing we could do about that. But we did what we were called to do to the best of our ability. And there is like I have in this life even an annoyance toward the end. And I think that's why they're showing this to me. Like I have an annoyance at the end where I'm not giving up exactly, but I feel so tired, and I'm definitely giving the information, but I've been doing it so long.
Oh, so you're an old man in this lifetime, and you're a
Yes.
keeper of the sacred knowledge, and you know about the Atlantean fall
And a spreader.
and spreader. And you know that you've planted seeds, but are you pretty sure that those seeds will bear fruit in this mission, the secret mission, and the secret connection to the stars and all the other things that you only seem to know about? And it's perfectly safe to tell me now, because I'm an observer and I don't repeat anything. You know, if there's anything that you would like to
That
go
in
on.
that life, I was annoyed because I didn't see how long it took for things to change. And
Yeah.
that while I knew that I was a piece, a fragment there in the whole scheme of things, I didn't see as much change in the positive way as I decided should be, especially since I had worked so hard, and I had a long life, and I had helped so many and given my heart and soul to
Mhm.
it, but I didn't know the breadth and the scope of how long things took, and that I was very important, but didn't see it manifest in that lifetime.
I can relate to that feeling totally,
Yes.
because all of us light workers have worked so long for things to change. And of course,
Yes.
you know, things did change in that era, but it still has a lot of
It was
dark.
just the beginning, it felt like.
Well, we had
but
a
I didn't
long
know it then.
time back up from the depths of the deluge and the loss of Atlantis and all of that. There were efforts being made in every culture around the world, but some cultures fell back into primitive things. And it sounds like you kept these shamanistic fires going and ignited the tradition. Can you tell me what you're feeling as an old man now and looking back on your life? And is there a particular initiate that you left the knowledge with, or did you feel satisfied at all that you had accomplished something? And what did your guides say to you?
I was told to have trust and hand over all of the knowledge, that my ego was not involved except in disappointment,
I know.
because I had that purity, and it wasn't about ego. Like I freely shared the information without hubris, with humility.
Of course.
And as much as we're not supposed to have, and hopes, expectations, how could you not, being entrusted with such important work? Yeah.
It sounds like a very important lifetime, and I would suggest that we look at the tarot after the session, or you do, and share anything that you feel is significant with that, because that came up a couple times. And I do trust in the symbolism of the tarot, and I don't get readings with it, but I used to play with it myself. So I'm just wondering,
Ancient symbolism.
yes, absolutely. And very relevant even today. It seems to always be very, very accurate with some readers. So I feel like you're coming to a close of this lifetime, don't you? As you're looking around your circumstances, did you want to look at the way you transitioned and the result of the fruit of your labors and then visit another lifetime, perhaps? Or did you
Sure.
want to show me what happened? You want to enter into the death feeling, or just know that you passed on and, share anything of the knowledge that you
Let's
gained?
do the we can pass on and look at that life in review in
Yes,
a more
let's
specific way.
look at the life in review and just briefly share what look at the rewards and the seeds that you planted in that life. And as I'm saying it, this huge download of light is entering my heart chakra. So this was a very enormous contribution to this whole perfection, divine perfection plan for humanity. So share whatever comes to mind that you feel is relevant for your
So they're showing me now, I've been standing in the same place this whole time. But now, instead of like teaching the students, I have the hermit's light in front of me, and my hood is on, but the light is out, and I am offering the light to the students, and they're bowing their heads, and they're like, I don't know if this is the right area though, but anyway, I'm just going to tell you, they're in orange.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And are grateful for the knowledge
So I
and the
always,
love that I have given them.
yes, absolutely. So this is a very important life that is all about working with hidden knowledge and preparing the way of the master teacher. So we don't know exactly what culture, but that will come later. It's Northern Africa. They were wearing orange robes. Sometimes I feel that
And brown, sometimes brown.
Okay,
yellow.
brown too. So this is very important, and you'll have to journal some more to know anything else about what you were doing. But do you feel that this was a successful lifetime as you passed on in this
Yes,
lifetime?
I just didn't know it then.
Yes. But now you can look down and see the activity of light that's going on.
They're
So
busy.
yeah, they're busy doing the work that you passed on. So as we're closing this life, I'd like to open in to another doorway and going through another tunnel of silver fog, and there's the door at the end of the tunnel. And I'd like you to just float gently through that tunnel of time, the silver fog bank, and you are flowing with the energy of another lifetime, and you're going, going safely and smoothly into your doorway, and you're opening the door to another lifetime. Your feet are on the ground, and you push the door open, step into this other lifetime, and just get used to your surroundings. And when you're ready to look down at your feet and look at your clothing, just let me know gently what you're seeing.
Wings.
Wings. And where are the wings?
I swear, I think they're on my head.
Wow. Interesting.
And all right, so this is weird.
Well, now there's certain uniforms that in ancient world that had wings on their helmets. So
Oh,
that's probably not a mistake.
it's green. Did I say that already? Something about green bird
Green.
beak,
Green land or green
like a green helmet
helmet. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
wings, a beak.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a man again, barefoot again. Well, actually,
Uh-huh.
last time I had sandals, but barefoot, big, strong feet
Yeah.
with
Wow.
hair on the big toe, curly hair.
Hair on the what?
Toe, like the big toe,
Oh,
hairy.
I thought you said the hair on a big toe, and I was thinking, I got an image of that, but I had to double check. That's so fun. So you have this hairy big toe. I imagine you're kind of hairy all over because you're youthful
No,
and no, not?
I'm, I want to say this, but I don't want to say this. This is like, I think Thoth coming in.
Okay,
Is Thoth after that? I don't know. I don't want to start thinking too much or doubting too much. I just want to go with it. But
just
it
go with it.
feels like they're showing me this, whether it's an incarnation or not, he's here.
Oh, good. Well, welcome, Toth. Very welcome. And Toth, that was one of the ancient ones that was said to have come from Atlantis and deposited the repository of knowledge in Egypt and other cultures as well. So
Okay.
you feel that you are an incarnation, or you're just stepping into his incarnation. Doesn't matter. We'll not judge that for now. Just go forward.
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
think my doubt is getting in the way, so we'll just keep
But
going.
we need to just let the doubt go, because, you know, all of us, including ascended masters, we're all, just human beings at one time. It may be,
He's
maybe,
saying I'm more than an ascended master.
okay. Okay, so
Is
tell
he
us,
an ascended master? I don't know.
well, yeah, and
Or is he more than that? I don't know. He's like, I'm more than an ascended master.
okay, well, then I'm I'm very curious to know,
Yeah.
and very wonderful of you to join us here today as Toth. So if you could just tell us a little bit more about um, your work and who you were. If you weren't an ascended master, who the heck were you, Toth? I mean, I'm really
I
glad
was
to
a
know you.
god, like a ascended masters all put together with this
Yeah.
whole block of information for all the years to come about universes,
Yeah.
not just Earth, but I was sent to Earth to bring this knowledge. Like I hold the Earth in my hand.
Wow.
I can fly around the Earth.
Wow. And so, Toth, you are, we are honored with your presence today. And I was wondering, um, if you came from a specific star system, that you wish to tell us more about, or were you definitely just directly from source? Or, yeah, I've always wondered.
Sent directly from source,
Beautiful. So,
flying through many, many universes to do
wonderful.
this work for a time that is needed.
In this time that you were incarnated, Toth, what types of cultures were you in, and what
I
what
was not born and I did not die.
okay,
I arrived.
wow. And so, are you saying that
I
just,
literally was deposited. I came here for a mission and not in the regular way.
I see. So you didn't come through a birth canal or anything, you just materialized as a god.
That's what I can do. Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Wow. This is the
And
most,
ascended masters can do that, but just to a point.
yes, I know. So, I've heard that there were temples with your name. Did you work in a school teaching, or what were you? I know you were part of the Greek culture, the ancient Egyptian culture, Atlantean. So you visited Earth quite a few times, didn't you?
Well, when I came, I stayed and did a whole, like, I'm seeing the globe again. All of that knowledge was all over the globe with
Oh,
this one visit,
mhm.
if that can be comprehended. That the way that these things work are so mysterious and so unknown and so unbelieved,
Yeah,
but it is possible, and the world will know how much is actually possible that they never knew before. But coming like a superhero, um, I guess that would be the closest thing that people would associate with a superhero, really. Like imagine Superman like
yeah. That's
coming through, and that is my mission to hold Earth like this, spin it, look around, and what can I do here? How can I help? What do I leave here for
yeah.
all?
Wow. It's pretty
That was
fabulous.
the mission.
I've never had a conversation with Toth or directly with a living God as you are. So I'm really curious because,
It's a god how you guys view God. It's the closest thing to words to explain to you how it is.
it must be an awesome feeling of power and knowledge and might, but at the same
It
time,
is a great responsibility, is what it is.
it's love. So you're trying to spread love on this confused earth. And so
The
what,
energy of love,
yeah,
not just love, the energy of love,
yeah, got it.
the net of love, the
And so,
connection without barriers, without breaks. That
yeah.
is the goal.
So, did you have initiates that were studying with you in these various cultures over the millennia, or did
They
you
didn't
live any?
study from me. I mean, they didn't study with me, they studied from me.
So
And
did
they
they,
wrote down everything that I said and tried to memorize the rest. And we left as much information as possible, but many of it has been hidden or not understood, or deliberately hidden, or deliberately misunderstood or skewed. So now that it's like package after package after package, the interpretations, the translations. First, you have to find it, then you have to figure it out, then you have to translate it, then you have to realize it's all coming out in bits and pieces, and this is the way it was meant to.
So is it true then about the emerald tablets? I've read
Yes,
they're credited to Thoth. So the
yes,
emerald tablets tell of miraculous things and ancient alien visitors and all kinds of things happening, the
of
flood,
course,
and
of
all that
course.
basically true. So we
You know
are,
this now.
yeah, I feel like I'm meeting Gulliver of Gulliver's Travels, because it's so awesome to imagine giants coming down from the sky, and then Gulliver's kind of little, and some humans fit into the palm of your hand. Were you actually kind of a Gulliver travel kind of guy? Were you, I
I
mean,
could be several places at once.
I see.
So
Oh,
now when you're talking about an ascended master and you know that you can speak to Jesus and someone else and this person and this person and over there and over there, they're all speaking to Jesus, right?
right.
This is a level of connecting with Thoth, connecting with Jesus, having a conversation with him, not just downloads, but
Yeah.
really like Mary and Jesus spoke.
Yeah.
That's how I
So,
would see.
you were a living God. There is a song
With a presence,
with you
the
later
physical presence.
about a title called I Am Living God. And I used to listen to it and laugh, but you know, that's a human response. But you are a living God. And tell me about one of the most important events that ever happened to you as relates to uplifting a humanity, and what was the kind of work that you were doing, and
I
if
worked with the pyramids and the energy of the pyramids.
oh great, I love that. And so were you one of the ones that was responsible for elevating the stones, as they claim that some people think that they were elevated by song or something?
We have so we have so many technologies that we have yet to share with humanity. They're not quite ready for
Yeah.
that. Right now it is in the hands of the people that just don't want to spread it. Right? They
Yeah,
don't want to share the knowledge. They want it
I-
all
I'm
for
I'm very
themselves.
aware of that. I follow the
Right.
UFO, yes. And so
But
anything that
we
is
have
like
these
magic,
centers all over the world, all over your Earth and orbit.
yeah,
I don't know what orbit means now, what that means, what he's saying, but on Earth now and in the orbits that are all connected. These energy centers, these transducers. I don't know what a transducer is. We can Google it later.
so is there a specific um timeline or event that you wish to share with us that would illuminate our current time with anything that happened in Earth's ancient or remote or past that you would like to tell us about for our learning purposes today? We're focusing on learning the mystery teachings and just wondering, since you were able to perform magic and you have all these devices and everything,
It
we,
seems like magic.
it seems like magic, but
Remember what magic is a trick.
yes.
It
Okay.
seems like magic if you don't
I
understand how it
love your
works.
humor, Toth, and that is right. So you're saying that we would think of it as completely a miracle, an act of God, but
Yes.
you were
Yes.
talking about the pyramids, and could you elaborate a little bit more on how you were assisting in that era of the building of the pyramids? And if you could shed light on when they were actually built. There's two theories that we humans know about, the theory of 2500 BC and the theory of about 13,000 to 20,000 BC. And
Much earlier than they think.
yeah, so I'm getting, that's what Edgar Casey said. And yeah,
Much earlier than they think. This has been in the works for a long time.
so these pyramids are sacred chambers, are they not, for transformation? Is that correct?
They have many, many uses. And
When you were,
they have many uses now, even just by them sitting there,
Mhm,
being in existence,
right.
they are useful.
Did you help to levitate the stones? Is that's just one theory I would
That
like.
is possible. Yes.
And were there actual workers that actually did move some of the stones around too?
No,
Or later?
we all worked together to levitate them.
And
All of us worked together.
were we
So
using
you see the
sound?
crop circles, you know that the crop
Yeah,
circles, that's not magic, that's technology, right?
that's right.
Okay. The pyramids are next level.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, sorry. Need to get a Kleenex. You stay
It's
right. Sorry, I had to get the something was on the rice steamer that was burning. My husband was neglecting it. So anyway, we're back in the pyramid energy, and you will be able to access anything that you need to know about this marvelous work of architecture and art and spiritual quality. So tell me more about the building of the pyramids as you experienced at Thoth. If you could, this is
There
very,
is a below chamber into the earth.
Oh,
So while you were gone, they showed me like how in Paris they have the inverted triangle pyramid
oh, yeah,
at the
okay.
Louvre or near that.
Mhm.
That's how the pyramids are.
Oh,
Triangle,
yeah, that
triangle.
makes sense because there's matter and there's antimatter. And, the tree's roots are just like the branches. So I believe that. That makes intuitive sense to me.
Yeah.
And so
So they
they
showed
were
me
telling you,
stairs going down in, chambers going down that will
wow.
be discovered.
Yeah.
Um,
So the paw of the Sphinx and everything, there's stuff buried under there. Did you see that remotely?
uh, what else did they show? Oh, um, that when this is, they have tried to co-opt the energy coming from the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me the word co-op, and then there was another for co-opt. But when more is found, like once it comes out, it can't be put back in, then the grid will be working and smoother, and the networks will be formed. They're saying the networks, a coordinate. That's the word they gave me. So co-opted, they've co-opted these great sites using their own sites and this knowledge to almost counteract. All right, so that's 3 C's. My guides always talk to me in C's. So co-opt, counteract, and then coordinate. So we have to remember those 3 words. That's how it's going to go. That's what
So,
this is about.
okay, so thank you for that. So I'm trying to grasp the word co-op. Are you, you're,
Co-opt is took it and manipulated it.
I know,
Oh,
I'm thinking who did that? Our civilizations kind of took that power away from ourselves by denying that they had any power other than being built by human hands with little pulleys.
the energies that want to use it, essentially,
Okay, so they've
to get
co-opted
what they want. Yeah.
and basically convinced us that they have no real power other than they're a historical archaeological find. And then,
Yeah, like that's what they're giving me. They say nothing.
yeah,
We
and
don't
then,
know. Like a
and
little kid that got caught
yeah,
and you're like, tell me the truth, tell me the truth. And he's like, you know, or like
so,
this.
so there is a whole nother dimension that some of these scientists are aware of, but they're not speaking about it. The archaeologists, like the guy that's Zarari that does all these Egyptian finds, he doesn't allow any of the secret information out either. He says it just was built by human hands, that kind of thing. It's denial. But there's a lot of archaeoastronomy going on since um, this era. And there's a lot of people that are now saying that the pyramids do contain the energy. So in the
Hmm.
future, we're going to be reactivating some of these pyramids around the earth, Giza Plateau particularly.
The more we learn, the more they are activated
Mhm.
because we
So,
can put the intention there and understand how it's all like uh, come to be and what they were used for. And it's like just climbing, elevating, and step by step, it will all come together. And for every step that we learn how it worked, we'll be getting like mind blown, but at the same time, our power and
mm,
our power to harness, create, control, literally change the world.
I'm really wondering what's down there below the surface of it, and if there's creatures that live down there or space stations or some kind of activation chambers where they can visit the stars. I know in Egyptology, people always said that they went out to Sirius on, you know, on a star line, and that they built those shafts to allow the king or the queen to go out to Sirius after they died. And if they are connected,
Portal. That's
portal.
one of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Portal, one of it, and up
So
leveling.
this is very interesting. It seems to pertain to the future. Does this have anything to do with the severe earth changes that we're supposed to be seeing? And do you?
Yes, but the earth changes will also bring revelation and more knowledge.
Yeah. So do you think more other pyramids that are in other power spots, places of power, will be reactivated, so to speak? I mean, I feel the ley line energy whenever I travel, but I just wonder if Thoth feels that, if you feel that there will be.
They need to be found first before they are activated.
And would that be
activated with our intention?
Would that be in sacred travel with yourself or myself and other light workers looking for reactivation sites, or just seeking sacred energy sites? Would that be part of this?
We just need to be curious.
Okay.
They will be revealed if we are curious, and we are digging. They're saying
digging,
not taking that tantrum-like behavior, like, not taking no for an answer, and not being belligerent or whatever, but just being like, okay, so we know that they don't tell the truth a lot of the time, so we have to do this ourselves, and we're happy to do it because we're better at it.
There's a lot of alternative people working toward the goal, and they have the light with them. They're carrying the light. I'm thinking of a few that I could name. And Billy somebody or other does a lot of Egyptology, and he's a Black man, very, very schooled. And there's another one that I feel is my son from a past life, maybe Atlantis, and he's a younger man. I wasn't going to say that, but anyway, as far as America, do you feel that there are ancient remains of Egypt in America?
Yes.
And do you also feel that there are ancient buried cavernous temples that may have been like in mounds and things?
Mounds.
Right. I always felt a connection to the mounds.
The mounds and the orgone energy.
Orgone energy.
Yeah. Orgone energy centers. Randall Carlson talks about it.
All right. That's very, very interesting.
He is another one of the pioneers.
Yeah. So there's certain
like
people.
Indiana Jones type.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of this holy grail aspect to America. They're theorizing. There's some of these alternative archaeologists are coming out with shows on sacred objects that were brought by the Knights Templar. And since I'm talking to a god here, Thoth, if I would inquire as to whether there are sacred sites in every state of the United States, and how these various sacred sites.
Not necessarily every state. They are strategically placed for the grid. Right. They are not divided into states and those man-made lines.
Yeah.
They are connected to the grid. Yeah. So if you work with somebody who knows about grid work and stargates, they're saying.
Yeah.
Stargates.
I'd be curious to explore all that. Pardon me? Just go ahead.
Astronomical labs and sundials, like all of that, and how the earth spins and twists a little and shifts.
Right.
It's all very complicated for one person to kind of understand.
Yeah.
How it's very intricate, right? But if you think about a sunset a sunrise, and how all of these things are aligned in order to capture the energetic force and the pull and the water. It's all geez, they're saying about to erupt.
Yeah,
But I'm not feeling afraid, but they're saying like it's all coming up for us to see,
yeah,
because we have to see it to believe it for the
yeah.
masses.
The masks are coming off now. And some people, the scientists, some US scientists and people that work with secret governments, etc., know about the UFO. They seem to know about these sacred
Oh,
sites, and
sure,
they're
yes.
aware of that. They've seen in time what can be.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're afraid.
And I know they have secret underground bases where the elites can go, but I just wondered if Master Thoth or God Thoth would illuminate.
We have secret underground bases too.
Yes. And so
There is a lot that they
Master,
don't
one
know,
of
but
them,
they think they know, and that is why they are afraid.
I'm feeling that Mount Shasta might be one of the underground places that would be a safe haven. I wonder if Toth could tell us if that was true and if he has any knowledge about where we might seek shelter, the safer places for you and I for personal reasons, or if we are to stay.
There will be refuges, and you will be led there
Okay,
when the time comes, if needed.
okay. So
If
we
in
just
your
go by
contract
instinct.
you
Yeah,
have wanted to be lifted out, that is what will happen.
yeah. So a lot of people will leave during the earth changes, won't they, though?
It's inevitable,
Yeah. And but
but
yet
they
me
are
may not.
okay.
Yeah,
They are
I know
okay.
they're okay. And we light workers are, I was told I'm supposed to stay for a while yet. So I feel like we're more the survivalists, but I don't know if that is true
You will
for
teach the
everyone.
new way.
Okay.
You're already doing it. You will teach the new way. You are already doing it.
Yeah, I'm honored. And so are you. I'm honored to meet you. This is an exciting adventure and a
Thank you for doing
challenging
this.
one. Wow, I'm blown away I've never had a session like this.
Really?
Well, not like this. I mean, every
Okay.
session is uniquely amazing, but this was particularly fun talking to Toth and discussing the pyramids. And does he have any final wisdom to impart? Any final advice, maybe? I mean, since he's with us.
What is your question you want to ask?
Oh, I wondered if there was anything that either he wanted to relate to you or I that might be of significance to our lives personally or globally, any global message that he has for humanity at this time. I'm sure he could go
Have
on a couple,
more hope than you do.
have more
Have
hope.
more hope than you do.
Okay.
These things
That's,
that were put in place, these safeties, if you will. So, like you have a furnace,
yeah.
and instead of your house just burning up, there's a safety switch, right? There
Right.
are safe in place.
Oh, good. That's really good to know. That gives me a
And
feeling.
we are always watching. We are always cheering you. We are always helping and uplifting as long as you ask, you reach out, and you connect. We are always here. This is what we do. This is what we are here for.
Wow, bless you. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting some powerful, powerful energy streaming through to our hearts and to our minds.
Is it
And
green?
yeah, but it could be any color of white too, any shade of white. White has all the
Mine
color.
is green.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Looks like an aurora.
Um,
What do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's like an aurora.
It's an aurora, like aurora.
That's what it looks like an aurora borealis. It's
Okay.
green like
That's,
that.
I'm feeling just a powerful download of light, you know, powerful download. So it's really beautiful. I'm just in the energy. I don't even want to leave the energy. It's so powerful. I just got this call from this lady again, though I probably should try to talk with her. But for now, thank you, Thoth, for this message. And I would really like to revisit this again. So if you want to do another session with me, are we ready to come up out of this hypnosis session? And
Sure,
okay,
sure.
so
Yeah.
let's set the intention to explore this character Thoth and this god Thoth, and just take a few deep breaths and go back through the time tunnel now. And you're leaving Thoth and leaving the sacred energies. You're keeping the sacred energies, but you're leaving the other information that conveyed was important, and we'll remember that. And then we're just going to come up at the count of 10. You're at your gone through to the beach and come through the time tunnel, and you're at your staircase. And I'm just going to count up to 10, coming up 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath. 5, stretch yourself and wake up, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're fully awake. And I'm going to stop the recording, and